well about this, about the male archetypes. And I don't know if you read much about that or touched on it, but I lost my dad at 16. He was an alcoholic. So he had a stroke when I was 13, paralyzed, and then he died when I was 16. And again, the only reason I'm bringing that up is because, well, then I had to assign my own role models. Didn't have to, I just did. So assign my own role models, and which then chose kind of, men with material success, money and girls and status and all this kind of stuff, and just took me down very wrong paths very quickly. And I'm lucky I came back. And so I think all of these dysfunctional traits that we all have, this is where, linking back to the wisdom traditions or the indigenous cultures, there's something in their communities and that allows them to express and to heal, rather than kind of what you described. And certainly what I went through is repression of emotion, repression of feeling, and just distract yourself. And I think this is where, I think this is men in general in the Western culture, but I think in sport is highlighted just because of what I've seen, and same for you, what you experienced. Just there's this pursuit of high performance, pursuit of being the best you can be, but it's so under the surface as a human being that so often doesn't get looked at until you open the box, and horrendous pain is usually the thing that makes us look at that box, which again I'm grateful for in my case. And what I'm hearing about all these interviews is, and myself, like I was just men are just unskilled, their emotional side. It's not anyone's fault or anyone's bad at it. It's just we're just unskilled in it, and that repeats generation after generation after generation until there's a stop in the generation. And getting at is looking at the whole person, because so many are just, it's such a volatile position to hold, because you could never know when you get sacked. You described about putting your grief into a box, and when that happened, like for me, I'm so lucky and grateful more than anything that grief happened to me, because it was a stop, just broken, completely broken. I didn't deal with my dad's death. I didn't know so many other stuff, and just stopped. Whereas what I'm seeing in many people is this insidious creep of to break out, break down, burn out, whatever you want to call it. But this insidious creep, and the symptoms then begin to look like physical illness, depression, divorce, all this kind of stuff is rife in the people I've spoken to. And it's just this, there's nothing for them. And I think well-being is spoken about, or mental health is spoken about, isn't it? But this, to me anyway, from where I sit, and I'm not judging anyone at all, but from where I sit, it seems just a tick box exercise. An example of that was the organization sent an email saying, oh, everyone's going to have this day off because for mental health we need, and yet him and his team were on tour with the team. And you're like, well, how does that affect me? Like